99% of all global internet data travels through physical fiber optic cables resting totally exposed on the ocean floor. Recently, that exposure has led to a spike in catastrophic severances. The Matsu Islands lost their connection twice in just 6 days, while in the Baltic Sea, 7 different cables were cut over a single 2-month window. These aren't the result of military strikes or torpedoes. Instead, every one of these incidents has been blamed on clumsy commercial maritime accidents. These repetitive accidents are a dress rehearsal for gray zone warfare. It's a strategy designed to paralyze a nation's infrastructure while maintaining the shield of total plausible deniability. The method is crude but effective. A cargo ship enters a marked subsea cable zone, drops a massive 100-ton anchor, and drags it across the seabed for dozens of miles. Investigators tracking these severed lines continually find specific Chinese and Russian-linked vessels at the scene, such as the Nunu Polar Bear and the Yipeng 3. Dragging a 100-ton anchor generates immense drag and deafening noise, a sensation impossible for a professional crew to ignore. Yet, the state can simply point to bad weather or sheer incompetence to avoid accountability. Traditional military deterrence is useless when an act of war is perfectly camouflaged as a commercial shipping blunder. The Baltic Sea and the waters around Taiwan are prime geographic targets because they are incredibly shallow, averaging only 180 feet, and congested with thousands of commercial ships daily. Hostile actors hide in this crowd using shadow fleets. These are vessels that intentionally turn off or spoof their automatic identification system trackers to blend into the maritime chaos. Once a ship is spoofing its data, it becomes impossible for human Coast Guard operators to manually verify the location and intent of every vessel in real time. Defending global infrastructure means moving past human observation and deploying automated systems that can see through this data manipulation. To counter this, NATO's Center for Maritime Research and Experimentation developed an artificial intelligence tool called Mainsail. Mainsail doesn't look for weapons. Instead, it ingests massive datasets to analyze the behavior of routine civilian maritime traffic. The AI flags specific anomalies, unnatural course deviations, sudden drops in speed, or suspicious loitering directly over critical infrastructure. This automated early warning system allows military operators to intercept a vessel before the anchor ever hits the seabed. By stripping away plausible deniability, artificial intelligence turns the ocean's background noise into an actionable defense grid. AI can warn of an impending attack, but it can't change the geography. Regions like the Baltic Sea will remain Europe's permanent physical weak point. Achieving true security requires a new map. The Far North Fiber project is a $1.15 billion plan to physically move the Internet's center of gravity. This new 14,000-kilometer cable will traverse the Arctic Northwest Passage, connecting Japan directly to Europe. This route is a strategic exit. It completely bypasses the shallow choke points of Russian waters, the South China Sea, and the Red Sea. This radical new route is only physically possible because of climate change. Melting Arctic sea ice is finally opening up waterways that were locked shut just a few decades ago. Building this requires massive infrastructure in some of the most isolated places on Earth, like this landing point at Prudhoe Bay, supporting a 120 terabit capacity line. It's a contrast between two eras, the sophisticated algorithmic warfare of the AI and the brute force necessity of laying cable through the world's most hostile environment. The Internet is no longer a borderless, invisible utopia. Protecting our connectivity now demands both unblinking algorithms to watch the oceans and the physical endurance to carve new paths through the ice.